The chair thanks the gentlewoman. What purpose the gentleman from Louisiana seek recognition?
I would like to speak in support of the amendment.
The gentleman is recognized for 5 minutes.
First, I'd like to thank Mr. Sensenbrenner for his hard work and the long track record of work that he has on criminal justice reform and introducing this amendment, and thank both the chairman and the ranking member for supporting the amendment. And I think that it does two things. One, it shows how much work we still have to do in getting to a point of comprehensive criminal justice reform. Two, it highlights the fact that too much of our mental health services are happening in prisons as opposed to other facilities. And as states balance difficult budgets, mental health has been one of the things that was always on the chopping block. And we in society are paying for that dearly, and this amendment highlights that. But the other thing it does is reinforces the work we still have to do. Under this bill, 50,000 nonviolent drug offenders have the possibility to be released over the next 10 years. We release 650,000 ex-offenders every year from prison, and our recidivism rate is over 50%. So that means over half of them are going to wind up back in the system unless we spend effort, time, and commit resources to not only mental health, but those programs that will reduce recidivism. So making sure that when people get out, they have stable housing, that they can find employment, that we can deal with mental health, and that we can start to renew family relationships. Because one of the things that we find is that although the incarcerated person may actually be in the confines of a jail, but it's the family that's doing time. And we have to make sure that we continue to have those sort of connections so that we can have support systems for people when they get out. Because the purpose of the bill and the purpose of criminal justice reform at the end of the day is to make our communities safer and to help reform people who need reform. So with that, Mr. Chairman, I would just like to again support the amendment, because the data collection is also important, and the recommendations and the report on mandatory minimums, because I think what's important here, and we should always stress, is that all the decisions are being made based on data and proven evidence, so that we are making scientific decisions in terms of how to keep the community safe, and we're not just going off of what we think and what we believe, but we're using experts who deal with this every day so that we can protect society. So with that, Mr. Chairman, I will thank the author of the amendment, and I will thank the chairman and the ranking member who also have a long track record on criminal justice issues.
The chair thanks the gentleman.